Oh. I'm not ready, man. I don't want to talk about it.
Open audition and make a new track. I hit reduce reverb to stop the feedback. There is a danger I can peek for you, or hear the outside noise of the adjoining room. Fifth period. About films that we're screening.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Fifth Period, the film podcast hosted by two media teachers, where today we are going to speed through our film discussion and hopefully never look back. That's right, I'm coming in hot with the negativity today, so if you are a Speed Racer fan, hit us up in the comments and please tell me what I'm missing, because I don't get it. My name is Mr. Brown, and with me as always is...
Mr. Boylan. Boylan X, maybe? But yeah, I'm here, that's fine.
I don't know why you'd want your name associated with this film at all.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a different sort of take on things a little bit. We watched this at Film Club, and we were both not having the best time. I wouldn't have said it's the most engaged film club that we've had for this movie.
Students have told me so since.
Oh, have they? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And then when I watched it last night, albeit a little bit tired and delirious, which could have been a perfect gateway to this film, knowing what the visual style was going to be like, I kind of got on board with it. But yeah, I'm also just looking forward to hearing you rage about the film.
Ooh, and rage I will. In addition to our main discussion of Speed Racer today, we will also be talking Tantalising Trailers and playing a car-themed movie mashups.
Vroom vroom.
So if you want to skip ahead to any of that, I will leave time codes in the description below.
Hi, my name is Bao, and today we're talking about Speed Racer.
Thank you very much to Bao for his intro to the pod today. Now, I've not taught Bao, but you teach him at the moment?
I am. He's one of my current Year 7 media students. Really enjoyed his group have been working on, in the infomercial task, putting together some shoes that make you taller. And they'd stacked lots of pairs of shoes on top of each other for the poster, which I thought was a fun touch. And I'm looking forward to seeing how their video goes and trying to make themselves look 8 feet tall. But no, Bao's been a really good presence in media class. It's been good to see him along at the first few film clubs of the year. Like we always talk about, it's really great that we get a fresh intake of Year 7s to welcome into sort of the film club atmosphere and corrupt with our film recommendations as well.
Yeah, nice. Thank you heaps, Bao. Alrighty, let us jump in. Deep
Strap
breaths. Deep breaths.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay.
Seatbelts on, it's gonna be a car crash. We kick things off with the big race to start, and we get a bit of a split narrative, especially early on.
Yep.
Flashback to him as a kid. I do like how involved he is in racing from a very young age. Like,
it's incredible.
His paper says blah, 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 and then he can hear the all drivers to the car. Even like when Trixie turns to him and he's like,
Yeah, that was kind of funny.
won the race.
Yeah. The comparison I made when I started watching this film was like, oh, this is like Dragon Ball Evolution, which is not a great comparison to be made with your film. Have you seen Dragon Ball Evolution?
No, I haven't.
Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that for Film Club.
If it's anything like this, I'll pass. Discount Helena Bonham Carter as the teacher.
With a really awkward transition as well out of the classroom into like immediately just like smash cutting to like them having a chat. I was like, oh, okay.
One of many very awkward transitions. The classroom setting itself, I didn't mind. I like the extreme saturation in the sets. Like, it feels very like Cat in the Hat. What I didn't like,
when they go outside,
as soon as they step outside, it is just a visual mess.
Spy Kids 3D game over.
It looks like the whole film was shot in a green screen cupboard and then composited together using MS Paint, is what I kind of gauged from it. Not even a Photoshop job, just MS Paint. But I made the comparison to that show Lazy Town.
Yes.
I was talking to Harry today in the other Year 12 media class, and he was like, that's exactly what I thought as well.
I would agree.
But we meet Speed's brother, Rex.
Rex, he's got short arms. How does he drive a car, Mr.
I don't
Brown?
know how he does it. He's kind of charming. I didn't mind this character. It was a bit of a shame that he was either non-existent or turned into Matthew Fox for a lot of the film. Because,
or was he?
Yeah, wow. We'll get to that. But I found he was maybe one of the least annoying characters. There's a lot of annoying characters in this, especially the young actors and young Speed at this moment Please,
Oh,
please.
it's so bad.
Isn't it
It's
just?
so bad.
Oh, come on, take me with you. Come on, please, Rex. Please, 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 please.
Like, we're coming off the back of doing Willy Wonka with some really terrific child acting. These things are not the same.
Right you are.
These
sir.
things are not the same. We cut sort of from like Speed's adorable pleading to the racetrack, much to their dad's Pop's chagrin, which is great because even his wife calls him Pops.
Pops Racer.
Yeah, Pops Racer.
What a name.
Pops Racer. They go to the track and Rex is talking about the feel of the car and sort of listening to things and like, you're steering, now you're driving, all this sort of stuff.
The advice that he gives him is to shut his eyes while he's driving.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
What kind of advice is that?
I mean, based on potentially what sort of mask he wears later.
Yeah, wow.
It makes sense.
I didn't mind the transitions here
I
where
think it
like
was
the
cool.
car, and especially later when he's like envisioning his brother in the race with him, some of those transitions worked okay. But the race itself, they were hit and miss for me. Some I quite liked, others were just sort of like a mess of colours.
And you're trying to keep up sort of with what's going on.
Yeah.
I think like I prepared myself for this more as it's just really understanding the fact that this is based on a really classic manga series created by Tatsuo Yoshida, and it's really got like this sensationalist, bright manga style to it, which I feel like after I started to get on board with it and accept as like, okay, this is a creative decision that Wachowskis have gone for, I kind of started to get it a little bit more. My eyes didn't always like what I was seeing, but I probably understood why I was seeing it. So I probably was able to sort of shift some of my rage to the side and maybe shift up a gear.
At least with the races, I could kind of, like you and I both said, it looked a bit like F-Zero, and so we could get more on board with that as something a bit more familiar. But when they're just like walking down the street,
And it's like a fever dream.
Yeah,
that's a bit harder. I agree.
But speaking of things being jarring, we get another Australian character, Sparky.
Oh, Sparky, mate.
Heads up, speed, 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, Speed.
I got snake drafting, pitter pat. That classic Australian dialogue.
You used it today.
I did say I got snake drafting, pitter pat.
Pitter
Great
pat.
move, Speed. Like, he's as bad
Great
as the child
movie,
actors.
Speed Racer.
Yeah.
That's what he says.
I don't know what it is. Anytime we hear an Australian accent, and they obviously are really trying to get him to steer into it, he's like, no, you are Australian. Be as Australian as you can. Holy cannoli, Speed.
Yeah, again. It's like they've just gone through, they've recorded your conversations in the morning. That's what you say.
But even if you're going to say something like that, to say holy cannoli, I mean, it's hard to take it seriously, but you're clearly trying to exclaim that something exciting is happening.
It's a big cannoli.
But he
It's a
doesn't.
pastry shell filled with
He
cream.
doesn't emote. Holy cannoli, Speed. Do you know who you're racing? Do you know how to emote?
Do you know how to Australia?
No.
One of the things they sort of like allude to, like you get all the commentators sort of talking about the race. We start to get these ties to what has potentially happened to Speed's brother. The fact that sort of he's like Rex making mistakes.
Someone tried to blow up the family?
Yep.
Would you,
Yep.
if you thought there was a bomb in a parcel you were holding and it could go off at any minute, would you A,
No.
throw that bomb away, or B, snap a mop in half, rig up a go-kart, put the bomb in it, and let the go-kart drive away with the bomb in it?
Oh, go-kart every time.
Go-kart every time.
I did-
That just
I did-
makes sense.
I did it the last 2 times. You know me, big petrol head.
I know you.
Vroom, vroom.
So with things getting a little dangerous, Rex decides he's going to leave
Yep.
and tells Speed that he might actually hear some bad things about him, but he's not to believe him. This part here, we both reacted to this in Film Club. Pop tells Rex never to come back, and then his face coming out of the flashback. This happens a few times with John Goodman, where you're like, you're not quite sure what you're reacting to because you're filming it in a green screen cupboard, or because you're supposed to be watching something and haven't quite articulated to you what it is. And so his reaction is just weird. But I will appreciate the idea of a shared flashback.
I thought that was pretty cool. And then you're getting it shared also with Trixie, so Christina Ricci.
Christina Trixie.
Christina Rixie Trixie, like saying cool beans a lot.
Oh my gosh.
Says it a lot.
There's one in particular that's real jarring, but we'll get there.
We'll get there. As the race is going on, it's like, this is a really good opportunity to just dump some expo. So turns out that Rex, he's a rat. He's a dirty driver. He was taking jobs from crime bosses. And then there's a big crash and no sign of him, but he's presumed dead.
There's a terrible crash. How could this happen? What do you mean, how could it happen? This looks like the most dangerous sport in the world.
Like, how did it not happen?
Exactly.
I'll tell you what's a bit of a car crash is young Speed crying. No, young Speed crying.
Ah, yes.
The noise he's making. Oh no. Oh no. Speed's finishing off the race, he's going to win, but he slows down to let Rex's track record stand.
Yeah, that was a nice moment.
I like that.
I also like the idea of him envisioning his brother as like the ghost there. It reminded me of Mario Kart where you can race your own time trial.
Yeah.
Then we get a weird scene with, is it Spritle? Is that how you pronounce it?
Unfortunately, so you get home life with the little bro and the little monkey.
The monkey. And they're
It's
wearing
Chim Chim.
the Paul Frank PJs.
Paul Frank.
One thing that's pretty funny, human Paul Frank PJs have monkeys on them, but monkey Paul Frank PJs have humans on them.
I thought that was good.
That's a nice touch.
It is a nice touch.
They're
One
watching,
of many.
They're watching anime.
They are. It's a cartoon, and there's like a karate fight happens, and then I wrote down, this is one of the most insane scenes in a movie I've ever seen in my life.
Why watch anime when you could live anime?
They're fighting, and it just the monkey's doing like a weird. I can't.
He acted it out, but it didn't make a noise. So.
It's like
yeah, perfect. I think
just flinging his monkey tongue around.
we haven't given Ethan a shout out yet for suggesting this film.
I didn't know if we would.
Mainly because I don't know that a shout out is the correct way, but it was at this
acknowledgement
point that I turned to him and said, "What are we watching?" And he just is looking over enthusiastically,
And
like,
we're
"Isn't
like-
this amazing?"
No, it's something. It's something. There's been, I will say, Mr. Brown, it seems like in terms of what the youth are watching these days, there's lots of sort of, I think, monkey-related brain rot TikTok stuff. So when the monkeys popped up, a few of the older kids were like, "Oh, a monkey, how's
I'm
it
in
going?
now."
Osgood Perkins, am I right?"
Oh, you are wrong. Looking around the kitchen, you got Christina Ricci, you got Emile Hirsch, you got John Goodman, you got Susan Sarandon. And I couldn't help but think of all the talent that was being wasted in this movie.
And Spritle.
Anyway, so a jet lands out the front, and this was a little bit strange because they make it seem as if the jet is so loud that you can't hear what he's saying, but you can hear what John Goodman's saying. And it's not even that loud.
What?
Got him. When I was a child, we used to say, "Kann gucken sit Lippchen."
Yes, so this is Mr. Royalton.
Yes, and he wants to sponsor Old Speed.
He rocks up, has brekkie, wants to sign Speed, wants to support Racer Motors. As soon as he popped up on screen, I was like, he's going to be a bad guy.
Yeah.
Because you know what else he's in?
What's that?
He's in V for Vendetta, which is also done by the Wachowskis.
In a much better movie.
An MB movie, if you will.
So the family's off to CG City.
CG City, also known as Royalton Industries. It's there's not a practical set in sight.
This looked atrocious. This was so bad.
This is what took me out of it a bit.
When they're going down that hallway and all the segways are zipping past, and it keeps like showing the different experiments that they're doing.
The one with like the guy like quickly moving and herking, jerking, moving it and stuff like that.
Oh dear.
Anyway,
And even sets that could have been real, they're still composited.
yeah, they meet is it Cannonball Bill Taylor or something? We'll call it Cannonball. I'm pretty sure that's his name. So Cannonball, meet him. I'll sort of show off the fact, hey, we've got a future Hall of Famer racer here who's part of my stable. Like, you should join along. There's a clear sort of like darkness to Royalton, and basically Speed's like, well, I might have a bit of a snooze on it, and we'll sort of see how we go. And then we sort of cut to a very stereotypical gang sort of like torture scene.
Oh, you don't want to mention Trixie's very awkward line when Speed puts a suit on?
Oh, no, yeah, we're going to go back to that one.
And she
Oh, no.
awkwardly delivers the line, "Hubba hubba," in front of his entire family.
Yep. Nothing awkward about it. What do you mean?
Wow, look, after Spritle's been running around going, "Sweet!" at everything, I was just glad someone else was talking. But yeah, sorry, continue.
gee.
Back to the gangsters.
The gangsters. They're
old,
really...
old mutton chops and bowler hats and fish tanks with piranhas.
Yep, and then my favourite part of this is the clear fact when the alarm goes off, that's the iPhone alarm sound.
Perfect.
It's incredible.
Amazing.
But basically they're torturing...
Teo or?
Tejo, who's another racer. Basically trying to get him to throw races. He's not going to do it because like this is like the bookie and stuff, the fixer, if you will.
Yep.
He says no, and then it turns out they're actually sort of being attacked, but they're actually
In the back of a truck.
which was pretty cool.
Tommy guns out.
Tommy comes out, the whole kit and caboodle, and there's a car outside. It's a masked driver who they clearly have come to expect. It's saying it's him attacking what is a very kind of visceral sort of action scene and very colourful, very bright, and lots of gunshots into the truck.
Yep. Eventually, they are overwhelmed by it, so they throw Tejo out the back, and he is miraculously unharmed. The speeds that they are travelling at.
Oh, I was going to say, otherwise it'd be like a bug on the windshield.
Well, yeah. And Matthew Fox picks him up, old X.
Racer X.
From the hit series Lost.
I don't know if is that sarcasm or...
Yeah. I don't even know
I've never watched
anymore.
it. So.
Yeah, it's fine. It's better than this. He's delivering real cheesy superhero dialogue.
I kind of love it.
I just thought it was strange because it's not how he spoke as the other character.
Which other character?
The brother.
He's not the brother.
Yes, he is.
Is he though?
Yes. Did you fall asleep at the end of this movie?
No. Maybe.
No wonder you enjoyed it so much.
I remember the end finishing very quickly. It wraps up everything in a nice, neat bow.
Neat little package.
Yes.
Anyway, so he picks him up, he's delivering the cheesy superhero dialogue, but Teja doesn't want to work with him just yet. And even though you kind of explained what's going on here, I don't know that it was clear yet.
No.
You kind of don't find out until later on. And this is one of the major gripes I had with this film.
It's loose.
It's very loose. The colours and the comedy, if you could call it that, is clearly aimed at a very young audience. It's very silly.
Oh, yeah.
But the storyline is so complex that there is no way that the same target audience that the comedy is aimed at is going to be able to fully comprehend what's going on. So what are they doing?
I don't know.
Yeah. But Trixie and Speed are about to start each other's engines. But Spritle has stowed away in the trunk, and again, the
What a
acting
great
is
brother.
just awful here. He literally goes, "Grr, Spritle!
Grr, Spritle.
Wait till we tell Pops." "Nah, don't do that. We couldn't sleep." Okay.
I'm having a nightmare about my name.
Can we go get some ice cream?
No. Though I would get him an ice cream, so he shuts up.
Yeah. Speed doesn't accept Royalton's deal.
No.
He doesn't take it too well. He goes full
like the-
melodramatic speech.
The transitions in the back and stuff while Speed's talking, I do enjoy that.
They use a lot of heads as wipes.
Yeah.
But he threatens him and gives him a very fast and complex history lesson about how racing is rigged. Again, this is where I was like,
It's
there's no way
nasty.
the kids are going to be able to process all of this sort of stuff.
This kid was struggling to process it when he was watching it last night.
Well, that's it. But as this is happening, they cut to Spritle on a sugar high.
Yeah.
Racing through the facility.
He's just got the zoomies.
For some reason to Freebird by Leonard Skinner.
Yes.
And never was there a more stark contrast between a scene using that song well and using it poorly than Kingsman and this. That scene is batshit crazy. What were they thinking?
They're thinking they'd get a good reaction
God.
17 years later.
I'm so annoyed. Anyway, so after all of this is explained to Speed, he still says no, and we cut to a race with...
I thought it was a dream sequence at one stage, but it's not.
No, it's a race with X and Speed while everyone is like crashing out because he's like, this is what's going to happen to you now.
Yep.
And this is the race that I thought looked the worst.
Oh, it was terrible.
Really, really bad. A new level of tacky here. And again, this is when John Goodman's reaction doesn't match what's happened. His son's just been in a crash and he's just like not reacting at all.
Yes, he's like, oh man, okay.
Yeah.
He might be dead.
This is why you thought it was a dream.
Yeah.
They reveal that Royalton is just explaining what's gonna happen to him, but then it all happens immediately afterwards.
That's why I was confused, 'cause I'm like, oh, it's a dream sequence. And then Speed gets the newspaper out, and it's like, what?
Yeah, so why cut back? Just keep going.
Just keep going.
Oh my god.
As I've written down, it's getting real hard to follow here.
Yeah.
But thankfully, Richard Roundtree's here.
Oh my goodness. Sprito's reaction
Shaft himself.
to Racer X at the door.
Oh, and do you want me to send him Chim Chim cookies? Which we eventually see later. Spoilers, sorry guys. But yeah, Racer X at the door with the Inspector Detector.
What a name.
Pretty
Aren't
good.
they the people that come out in Australia and check your smoke alarms?
Inspector Detectives?
Or detector inspectors?
I'd say that. The latter is
The
more.
latter.
So, g'day, mate. I'm the
G'day, I'm
I'm
the
the
bloody...
Inspector Detector. You haven't been talking to any racers, have you? You haven't been talking to Royalton Industries, have you?
But he had been. But
Yes.
all good. So the inspector tries to recruit Speed because Tejo has informed them that he will actually bring down Royalton. He's got some info on him, but he'll only do it if both X and Speed team up with him. But to do that, because he's out of the race now, to get back into the qualifier, he needs to do one of them back alley races that he's same
cross-country
style that
rally.
his brother supposedly died in.
Like a Dakar rally sort of vibe. It's like, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, but more colourful.
No son of mine is going to compete in that again.
But he's going to anyway.
He does. And
yeah.
everybody has modified cars,
Yes.
which in a futuristic car race like this, what's the difference between a modified car and
And
the
a
car
car?
that they had?
I don't know. A couple of extra dangly bits.
I didn't mind here that literally every racer in this one had been recruited. This kind of montage of them being recruited and then cutting back to the race, I didn't mind that. I didn't find it as jarring. It's unnecessary. We're going to assume people in the race are trying to attack him anyway. But it was a bit of fun seeing all these like weird gangs.
Like Snake Oiler.
Yeah. Why does he keep saying, let's pinch these turds off? Why?
It's his line.
That's his classic
Everyone
line.
knows that. God,
Yeah.
Mr. Brown.
He looks like Elvis.
He does. I'm the real original Snake Oiler.
One of the gadgets that Speed has had installed in his car is like a hubcap that blocks spikes that are coming into it, but you can't see your hubcap. So how does he have a little joystick that he's like maneuvering to try and block it?
Because remember, he's listening to the car,
Of
Mr.
course,
Brown.
he's closing his
damn
eyes
it!
and feeling it with the joystick.
Come on, Mr. Brown. You're not a real speed racer.
Mate, once it hit that desert, you know what I was thinking to myself? Now this is pod racing.
Yep, Sebulba comes past. It's crazy.
Sebulba is going to win, I think. The Spanish commentator is like, oh my god, did you see that?
Yeah, he's pretty good fun. He's pretty good fun.
They
But yeah,
don't win,
No.
but they qualify to continue on.
And they're building chemistry. Still trailing good old Snake. But unfortunately, the family does find out.
Let's find out. Pop realizes.
Because Spritel's like trying to deflect from him. It's like, no, actually, look at my brother. He's like actually like left.
Yeah, he's
not
worse
skiing.
than me.
Yeah. No one's worse than you, Spritel.
Right you are. I do like that he's in his classic speed racer attire after this with his little ascot.
Little Fred Jones.
He tells X after the race that he felt like they'd been racing together for a long time, and he suspects he might actually be Rex.
And he's like, I'm not. And then he leaves.
The family and the
Yes, they arrive.
Australian stallion turn up.
Hey, old Sparks.
Me, he
Sparkles.
says.
Yes.
Old Sparky.
Sparky.
They're having a bit of an argument, and they cut to Susan Sarandon when he says, "You want to fire me as a driver? Do it." And she's like, "Gah!" As if this is the most dramatic thing that's ever happened. So anyway, John Goodman can't get his way. He's going to be racing regardless, whether he's got his approval or not. So he decides to go fix up the car because he suspects all these mods will have screwed it up.
Leaning to the left.
And then he has a little bit of a heart-to-heart with Susie Sarands.
Susie Sarandon.
She says, "You wouldn't lie to your mother," and he goes, "Never again." I mean, it's been less than 24 hours since he lied to her last time. Maybe take that with a grain of salt.
Yep.
Tejo is poisoned, and Matthew Fox puts on a scarf so his stunt double can fight for him.
Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. I don't think he needed that scarf.
No.
Nah.
They would have been fine. But this whole fight scene's not too bad with the ninja sort of dropping in and everything.
With the ninja getting crushed behind the couch,
Yep.
legs just folding in. Jeez.
It's not bad.
Well, they did do the Matrix.
Yeah, like, and they should get this right, and they do. It's a good fun. Spritel wakes up and then goes to intervene, and he's fighting with. I think they're back in the anime, and it doesn't work. And
The speed fight is awkward. It's very, very awkward. And then John Goodman comes in, and he's like
got
a
his
pro wrestler.
had some good moves.
He did. He said, "Oh my God, was that a ninja? More like a nunja." I didn't know if at this point I was so furious at the film that I feel like I would appreciate a line like this in another film because it's silly, it's a bad pun, but I was so annoyed by this stage. I just couldn't appreciate anything. I do like that he follows it up with, "Terrible what passes for a ninja these days."
Ain't that the truth?
Cool beans is the appropriate response to that.
It is.
Cool beans.
They need to try to work out sort of plans for the next day, what's going to happen. Obviously, with Tejo,
Can't
incapable
race.
of racing.
But you know what he can do? He can put on a dress and a sun hat.
He can, because he impersonates Trixie, and they swap places, so Trixie's in Tejo's car.
When did they establish that Trixie could drive?
Oh, you remember?
No, I don't. I don't remember.
What was
In
that
this,
scene?
In this very long 2 hours and 15-minute movie, they never established that Trixie could drive.
Mr. Brown, come up.
Nah.
You remember, there was
No.
at least 4 scenes where they said, Trixie was like, how do you feel about driving? Cool beans.
Yeah, no good. No good. She even goes, you always said I'm better than most drivers. No, he didn't.
When?
He didn't say that.
Anyway, so they're back in the race, back in the rally.
Bit of bickering, bit of couples bickering.
Yes.
Children,
it's
focus.
coming across like Captain America, basically, there. But so the gang's all here, but what happens is that they're going through, like, the mountains.
The commentator says, now the gloves are off and they're pounding one another, bumper to bumper, rail to rail. What a line. What a line.
It's certainly a piece of dialogue.
And Speed's even about to kill that guy with his car, and John Goodman's like, that's my boy. Kill him.
Finally proud.
Yeah, get him.
Get him.
He's wanted vengeance this whole time.
Exactly. With Tejo sort of impersonating Trixie, he's able to take the fixer sort of into custody, basically. And they sort of land there, but then the fixer's gang members rock up and it turns into another fight scene. And then they're saved by Spritle and Chim Chim's flying monkey poop.
These cuts are so rapid. I have a note here, the death of cinema.
That's a big call, Mr. Brown.
Oh my gosh. There was still like 40 minutes left at this point. They continue the race and get up to where Rex supposedly died. And the other team is neck and neck. You said you liked the CG here.
When
the-
they get into the
cave.
the ice caves, the Maltese ice caves, or the ice caves of Malta, or whatever it is. I think it looks cool because they go in there and they make a big point. This is where Rex apparently died. But I really, really like the reflections off the ice that the colours of the cars provide. I think it's probably one of the more sort of visually stunning parts of the film. And I was really like, yep, okay, I'm here for this.
It's not really competing with much.
No, but it still looks good. If they put that in any sort of movie that used a significant amount of CGI, or even didn't, I'd be pretty happy with that.
Fair enough.
Shots. So, well done, Wachowskis.
Once they come out the other side of the cave, Speed gets knocked off and he's like driving up the cliff. And again, the Spanish commentator, he did not just do that.
You did do that.
He did. But he knocks Snake Oiler off the road and their team wins.
Yeah.
I hate the shot though when they pull over the finish line and he jumps out of the car and lands. Why?
Why not?
Every single reason. But Tejo was lying. He doesn't help. He just wanted them to drive up the stock in his father's company?
Yeah, Togo Khan has done a dirty deal to increase the value of his company.
So because he's not going to help anymore, it has arguably rendered at least an hour of this film even more useless than it already was.
Obviously, because Speed's not going to be in the race because Tejo sort of got in there and doesn't have a spot. Tejo's half sister is feeling a little bit sort of conflicted, so basically gives Speed Tejo's spot in the race.
Speed also accuses X of being Rex, but he isn't. Rex is actually dead, which I liked until, they undid it. Yeah, that was quite nice, for him to get his hopes up and then it to just be dashed. He was like, no, I'm just another guy.
It was I'm sorry, you lost your brother. But, yeah, we get in with, the last race is going to be the Grand Prix, and holy moly, this looks like a video game fever dream. I kind of love it. I really, really love it.
You know when, is it Haruko, Tejo's sister?
Yep.
You know when she turns up to the house and gives the invitation?
Yes.
And then they, call out to the Australian guy, and everyone's hiding in the kitchen? I don't believe it. Were you listening the whole time? It's very strange.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Anyway, back to the race.
Let's talk about the cool stuff. So this race does look pretty damn good.
Brand new car too.
Yep.
Which I don't think his car was damaged. I don't know why he couldn't use his old car.
So because they can sell more toys, Mr. Brown. Come on.
So they can put on their Super Mario overalls and fix up the car.
Here we go.
The commentators in this last race are probably my favorite part.
They're good.
This ain't a race. This is a showdown. Ooh, this kid is wily. Yoo-hoo, anybody home? It's just winner after winner after winner.
After Zinger.
But I was pretty numb to the race itself by this point.
I think we knew where it was going to go. Royalton asked Cannonball to sort of take him out. He's got a spear hook in his new car. Mm-hmm. Speed, after kind of a bit of a false start, absolutely cruises through the field and then starts to get near the front with the leaders. And then Cannonball sort of goes head to head with him. It's like the old veteran versus the young whippersnapper. And eventually Cannonball uses his spear hook, so he's hooked on.
Yep.
And then you don't really know what's going to happen, but Speed's able to sort of shake him off and also do it in a position where the cameras see it. And Royalton's really quite ruined.
Yeah, he's exposed for the cheater he is. I also noticed in this race too, Speed like full on kills a bunch of people. Cars literally blow up. Yep. And everyone's cheering. Like, yeah, murder those people.
Hell yeah.
And even the commentator goes, it's a whole new world, baby. It's a whole new world.
Yeah, it's like this is the first race where we've killed people. And I like it.
What happened to those bubble effects? Aren't they supposed to turn to bubbles or something when they crash?
They ran out of bubbles.
Ah, no more bubbles.
Typical. It's a Grand Prix. Everyone else is drinking bubbles. They've got no bubbles for the drivers.
That's so true. So he wins.
He does. Get a nice little montage of the scenes, sort of helping get him through the race, but he's done it.
Well, yeah, but the scenes, they weren't that inspiring. They worked for him, though.
They worked for Speed. We're not driving, Mr. Brown.
That's very true. I did pause at mid-movie and go for a drive just to clear my head.
Just to remember what a real car looks and feels like.
Oh, damn.
So it all starts to wrap up. Royalton's going to get arrested and everything like that. He's going to stand trial. But Racer X is watching on. And what do we find out, Mr. Brown?
Big twist ending. Rex is X. And he got plastic surgery and he didn't tell them. And I don't know what to think anymore at this point.
I can't wait to find out more in the sequel.
Yuckers. Nup, nup, nup. And then
Speed Racer.
This film broke me. It broke me. Shattered me. It's got a Rotten Tomatoes score of 41%, which I thought was even too high. But apparently it is quite a divisive film. It's really split down the middle. The IMDb score is 6.1, which isn't a terrible score.
No, not at all. Letterboxd is like 3.4, I think, or 3.3.
I don't really get it. Most of the students I've spoken to afterwards have shared my opinion of it. Obviously, Ethan loves it. You liked it a bit more than you thought you would.
Yep.
I spoke to Whittle about it as well. He thinks it's pretty good.
I was going to say, I think I saw Whittle's Letterboxd rating. We gave it like a 3 or something, or 3.5. I think Alexi Toliopoulos gave it like either a 4. It might have gone a 4 stars or something like that. So
yeah. I mean, film is subjective. Yep. I've got plenty of films I adore that I'm sure lots of people hate. So this one definitely wasn't for me, and that's been quite clear. But
no, I don't think so.
Oh, look, I didn't enjoy watching it, but I actually don't mind talking about films that I don't really enjoy on the pod. We don't get to do it all that often. We tend to have pretty good picks. But yeah, this one was right up there with Top Gun and Alice in Wonderland for me.
In the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, the Hall of Shame.
Hall of Pain.
Let us move on to Tantalising Trailers.
Tantalizing films. Trailers. Don't know if we will be a fan. How will it be? We'll know in time.
I've got 2 trailers today.
I've got quite a few, but as I mentioned to you earlier, that some of them I just kind of want to bring up so that they're on your radar and see if you have heard about them. So, first things first, Freaky Tales. New Pedro Pascal, Jack Champion, Tom Hanks, Ben Mendelsohn. Ben Mendelsohn. So, 4 interconnected stories set in 80s California. Just something to keep on your radar. The trailer doesn't really give too much away. Bit of an indication of tone. But with that cast and anthology stories in general, I really like. And especially because they say they're sort of interconnected.
Yep.
That's piqued my interest a little bit as well. So this might be good. Could be like an American Horror Story kind of vibe to it. Yeah.
Something else freaky that I actually completely forgot about watching. I didn't have it on my list, but I can talk about it. It's the new Fear Street film.
Oh, I didn't realize they were doing a new one.
Yeah, so obviously these came out in 2022, based on books by R.L. Stine, or inspired by those. Kind of his more mature series compared to Goosebumps. Assuming it's a new set of films. I'm not sure if they're all going to be interconnected, but this one is called Fear Street Prom Queen, and it's got like a real like 80s slasher sort of vibe about it.
I think I've read the Prom Queen Fear Street book.
Yeah, there you go.
I was really into the Fear Streets. I kind of missed the boat on Goosebumps books. I was a little too old when I actually did start getting more into reading, I was a little too old for Goosebumps. So the Fear Street books were a really good middle ground for the R.L. Stine kind of early teen years.
Yep. I've read a couple of Fear Street books, but I didn't read as much. I really enjoyed those first three. Kind of like more teen-based, like good introductions to horror that are existing now, and particularly existing in good places like Netflix, where it's really easy for teenagers to go and watch these films and have like a good introduction to the genre. Having Sadie Sink involved in something, I think, is always a good thing.
That was the best one, the 80s themed one. Yeah.
At the camp. I'm keen for this one. Good sort of prom set slasher is always a good time, so keen for that.
Nice. Couple of other horrors to keep in mind. First one, Bring Her Back. So from the creators of Talk to Me.
Yes.
We just got a little teaser for this, but the other thing that really interested me, I mean, I'll watch anything after Talk to Me. I'm really keen to see what these guys do next. But it's also got Sally Hawkins in it, who we were discussing. We were very disappointed. Wasn't in Peru.
Busy doing this.
Yeah, that's it. Bring her back to Peru, they said.
Bring her back to...
the Paddington franchise.
Whatever Grove or the court or whatever it is.
I don't know.
I don't know where Paddington lives. He lives in our hearts. That's where he lives.
So you don't get much of an indication of plot in this, but just enough to pique your interest. And then the other one was The Rule of Jenny Penn. So this is a Jeffrey Rush, John Lithgow film. Oh. It is set in an assisted living community, and John Lithgow is basically going around terrorizing people with this creepy puppet. Okay. He just looks sinister as hell. He is doing a lot lately, John Lithgow.
He is.
And has officially been confirmed as the new Dumbledore?
I think so. Go up against Cillian Murphy.
He's doing the most at the moment, and he looks creepy as hell in this. And Jeffrey Rush also looks like he's doing a great job. He kind of comes in, doesn't feel like mentally he's in the same place as a lot of the other people, but I think he might be physically injured, so he's kind of doing some recovery there, but then he sort of feels the pressure and the weight of John Lithgow terrorizing him with this. So
I haven't seen this trailer at all, so I'm keen to check it out based on the cell.
Seems like psychological horror.
It's a bit of me. It's a good bit of me.
Bit of you.
Keeping things in the spooky lane. One I watched today was the Woman in the Yard. So it's directed by the guy who did Carry On, which came out obviously end of last year on Netflix with Taron Egerton.
Bit average.
And also stars the actress who played the detective from Carry On.
Okay, cool.
So basically she's a single parent. It's got sort of two teenage kids. It seems like either the dad's passed away or has moved out. But they're in this new setting, and then one of the kids realizes, like, oh, there's someone in the yard. There's a woman in the yard. Kind of just goes out to check what's going on. I was like, hey, like, my husband will be home soon. And then the woman who's, like, shrouded, sort of all in black, says that we both know that that's not happening. And it's like, all right, come when I'm cold. And she reveals her hands, which are covered in blood. Ooh. And then things sort of escalate from there. Obviously, this... I don't know if it's like a ghost or anything like that, but then we get there's some cool shots of like sort of her shadow coming into the room and sort of affecting different things. And it's all happening, like a lot of this is happening like very stark, like bright sunny day.
Okay.
So I kind of like that for a horror movie. So I don't know, just like the visual look of it was good. I think it had some good acting, like from what I saw in the trailer. So yeah, I think it looks pretty spooky, and I'll give it a watch.
Nice. There's a woman in the yard, not too far from the car. The Jaws line.
Oh, of course.
Anyway, Havoc is the next one I want to briefly touch on. Tom Hardy, Forrest Whitaker, Timothy Olyphant. I just want you to check it out because it looks like solid action film. And I don't tend to flock to action. Like, I don't dislike action, but I like action thrillers more than anything. But it looks like it's been really well choreographed, and I can really appreciate solid stunt work in a good action film. So Timothy Olyphant is great too, and just like he looks like maybe he might be the antagonist, so he's always good as a bad guy.
I was going to say, just give me another version of Die Hard 4 and I'm pretty happy. Next one and last one for me is The Surfer. So I talked about this on the podcast last year, and it was the only trailer that sort of came out was just almost like part of a scene, basically. Mm-hmm. We didn't provide a lot of context, but now we get significant more context for the film. So obviously this is a Nick Cage-led project. He plays someone who sort of appears that he grows up near an Australian beach and then comes back with his sort of teenage son, but he can't surf there because if you don't live there, you can't surf there, basically.
Mate, you're not from around here, they say.
It's a lot of that.
They say, g'day, cobber.
G'day, Cagey. But yeah, the locals won't let him and his son go there. You've got Julian McMahon as the antagonist, bringing a lot of doom to the picture.
Oh, it's got real Wake in Fright vibes. Yeah. It's real sinister. Australia does horror good.
We do. We do.
What was the other one? The Hotel or the Royal Hotel?
Yep.
Yeah, just...
Bird Eater.
It's not a bad idea. Obviously, it's a different culture. So you can kind of shock people and make people feel uncomfortable and different by just presenting something that they're not used to.
And particularly, I think what's really good is the fact that they're doing it with a part of Australian culture that's incredibly known and is seen as this incredibly relaxed, approachable pastime of going surfing.
Yeah.
And then it's made not that way. Just it looks like Cage goes on a bit of a descent of madness to try to sort of
Take them out.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, I'm keen for this. I was keen already last year, but now I'm like, yeah.
They're so creepy. Like it's that larrikin archetype. Boys will be boys, and that's terrifying.
Correct.
Next for me, I want to talk the new Death of a Unicorn trailer. So the original trailer that came out for this was pretty underwhelming. I was like, I don't think I'm going to want to see this. And then I went and saw The Monkey last week. And while The Monkey was quite underwhelming, the trailer for Death of a Unicorn.
Death at a Unicorn?
Death at a Unicorn. That's my mashup. Hey, he's done it! It looks way better than the first teaser trailer that came out. So Jenna Ortega, Paul Rudd, Tia Leone, Will Poulter, and is it Anthony Carrigan?
I believe so, yes.
I recognize his face, and I've written his name down, and now I don't know. He's NoHo Hank from Barry. That's it.
Barry.
Yeah, well, he's great in that. And this looked way better. It looks like a comedy horror monster movie type thing. Like, I did not get these vibes at all from the original trailer, but this one looked way better. Kind of in a isolated location sort of thing, like a motel, and it's chasing them down.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just looks like wacky fun.
I'm gonna have a good time watching this film. I kind of know that, and I love the projects that Jenna Ortega and or her agent are picking for her.
It's just so eclectic too.
Actually, on that, because it was quite good to talk about. I linked you this clip the other day that was from the SAG Awards, where you had Jenna Ortega,
so
Jamie
good.
Lee Curtis, and Neve Campbell talking about horror movies and like the Scream Queen and everything. I mean, I'll talk about horror until I'm blue in the face, but the reality is that it's not always the most publicly celebrated genre in film. It's looked down on a lot, but I think it was really good. You've got two powerhouses from the genre and someone who's very much like a modern Scream Queen now. And the fact that Jenna's like continually talks up horror movie and celebrates it is a really good thing, because she's very much an actress who is firmly in like the pop culture zeitgeist.
Yep.
And the fact that she's continuing to do like cool horror films and stuff like that just makes me appreciate her even more. So I highly suggest watching that clip if anyone goes and finds it. But yeah, hopefully with more stuff like Substance getting an Academy Award yesterday, I'll continue to champion putting horror in the spotlight.
Last one I want to talk about, unless you want to mention Shrek 5 news.
I mean,
controversial design choices.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll change it? Be a bit of a Sonic situation?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's obviously really shocking. I mean, like, everyone's been incredibly anticipating a new Shrek film after news of it was actually coming out. Obviously, we've got, speaking of actresses who are in the zeitgeist, Zendaya will be playing and voicing Shrek and Fiona's daughter, which is pretty cool. Yeah, the look of it, I don't know, like, I'm fine with it. I kind of hoped, actually, they might have lent into more of the sort of animation style that was used in Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I don't know. To me, it's a bit like recasting. You get used to something for a certain franchise, you want it to remain the same. It's the same way that people were upset when the design of Hogwarts changed 3 films in for Harry Potter. You get used to world building, and even if the second design of Hogwarts might even be the better design, it's like, but you've already established what it is.
Correct.
So, yeah, I think it just change makes people uncomfortable, and especially if you're trying to have that continuity between films, makes it a little tricky. But we'll see what happens. There's plenty of time, and people have not been shy about their opinions on it.
No, and they've got time to change things if they really want to. The reality is, like, it's like barely a teaser trailer. I wouldn't even call it a teaser trailer. It's like a trailer for a teaser trailer.
Yeah, it's not coming out till 2026. There's time.
Yep.
There is time. But the last one I wanted to mention was Sacramento. So Michael Cera, Kristen Stewart, Michael Angarano, the dude from Sky High.
Yep.
It just looks like a classic buddy road trip.
Film. Yep.
Michael Cera's more down to earth, and Michael Angaro is like,
not.
Well, he's just like the reckless one. He's like, come on, we'll go on a road trip. And so he leaves Kristen Stewart, a heavily pregnant Kristen Stewart, at home and goes with his buddy on this road trip. And looks like it's got some heart, some comedy, just your classic.
Bit of good time.
Alrighty, shall we move on to movie mashups?
They did the mash. They did the movie mash. The movie mash. It's like a plot theme smash. They did the mash. It might turn out trash. They did the mash. They did the movie mash.
So we will take it in turns to read out pitches for existing movies with a slight twist based on our theme of the week. Now the goal is to guess the new mashup title, which should be a play on words. Because we watched Speed Racer this week, our theme for today is car brands. For example, if I was describing the film about a con artist who tries to double-cross her lover and a couple of gangsters after conducting a diamond heist with a capital H, you might say the film was called A Fish Called Honda.
Nice.
Shall we jump in?
Sure.
How many do you have on your list?
4.
All right, well, I will kick things off then. When an African-American man visits his white girlfriend's parents for the weekend, things start to take a sinister turn as he seemingly is being sized up for a bigger plan. With a background in hypnotism, the girl's mother is able to paralyze the man by striking a teacup and lets out 4 rings.
It is Get Audi.
He's done it!
You're unbelievable.
Oh! Your O was a little lackluster.
Oh.
Is that you anticipating your own clues?
Maybe.
Maybe. All right. I believe in you, mate.
Makes one of us. A dock worker who had been an up-and-coming boxer who could have been somebody gets a chance to prove 2 points when he throws a fight because of a local mob boss. Then he gets a chance to put the mob boss away. Do you know what the film is?
Were you doing like I could have been a contender, Charlie. It's a Marlon Brando film on the waterfront.
Yep.
Okay.
So now it just needs the car. So it's like a logo with like 2 points.
I might not be able to get this one.
Okay, I'll let you know. It's Citron the Waterfront.
I don't know what Citron is.
Okay, cool. Well, Citron, I don't know.
Oh, I've never heard of that car brand.
Okay, cool.
Citron the Waterfront.
Oh!
Sorry, mate. I
That's
genuinely
okay.
have never heard of that car brand.
There you go. Oh, well.
Okay.
Moving on.
After accidentally magnetically clearing all the tapes at the video store he works, a man must team up with his co-worker to remake their own version of the films and try to keep their struggling video store afloat. Eventually, the townspeople all start getting recruited to participate in the horsing around as the remakes gain a cult-like following.
So I know what the movie is. I'm struggling.
Horsing around.
Does that narrow it down?
There's a pretty main...
Is it Lamb?
Oh, no.
No? I was going to say Lamb. No.
The main car brand that has a horse.
Dodge?
Like, number one sports car that comes to mind.
Oh. Ferrari Be Kind Rewind?
Be Kind Ferrari Rewind.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, no.
It's a mouthful, but it makes sense.
Keep telling yourself that, champion.
That's Lock, Stock and Nosferatu 2 smoking barrels right there.
Okay. With the US-Vietnam War upon them, 3 friends plus another encircle each other, 4 circles. They love hunting and join the army. However, they are captured while fighting in Vietnam and have to escape, with the film showing the 4 layers of psychological damage that this unique war provided.
I don't know the movie.
I think you will.
Will I?
Yeah, it's got some pretty big actors in it. Bobby De Niro, Christopher Walken.
Robbie D.
Yeah. Have you got the car brand?
Yeah, the car brand is Audi. Our Deer Hunter.
He's got it!
Hey!
Unbelievable.
Oh, no! Yes, the Our Deer Hunter. Should watch
Okay.
that. It's a good movie.
Yeah, should.
All right, go
All
for
right.
it.
Woo. When the girls' high school soccer team is cut and the boys' team refuses to let the girls try out, this determined protagonist pretends to be her own brother to prove she is good enough to make it and get back on the field to face off on the 3-diamond pitch.
So I know the movie. Is it She's the Maserati?
No, I'm afraid we were looking for Mitsubishi's the man.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Lordy. We're going to get one of these. Oh, we got Get Outie.
Yeah, we gotta get out of
We
here.
got Get Outie.
We started well. It's been a train wreck. It's been a car crash ever since. It's being in theme with today's episode.
Yeah, we're consistent at least.
Starring one of the most unique actors working today, this acclaimed drama follows alcoholic screenwriter Ben as he heads to the bright lights and classy life of Las Vegas. He meets a sex worker and the two embark on an unconventional relationship, bending to each other's own personal demons.
So it's like leaving Las Vegas.
There you go.
Bent leaving Las Vegas.
He's got it!
You're unbelievable.
Oh! We're back, baby. We're back.
Okay, go for it, Mr. Brad.
There is an ongoing rivalry between two families. One with the symbol of a red cross and the other...
We're with a green snake.
Correct. When two teens from the families fall in love at first sight, it ends in tragedy as they can never be together and end up making the ultimate sacrifice for each other.
Play that alarm for a double up. It is Alpha Romeo and Juliet.
He's done it!
Unbelievable.
Oh! Double up!
Double up.
Was that your last one?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry I took it away from you,
That's
mate.
okay.
The savior of humanity is betrayed by one of his disciples and sentenced to be crucified. While on the cross, angels with wings appear to him and prevent him from being hurt.
Like Passion of the Christ? Mm-hmm. The Passion of the Chrysler?
He's done it!
You're unbelievable.
Oh! Yes!
Merry Chrysler.
That's it. All right, final one. A New York policeman flies to LA to visit his estranged wife and daughter for Christmas. While there, he gets trapped in his wife's office building when a group of terrorists take over and must single-handedly take them all out. Eventually, they blow up the roof of the building as our action hero must jump off the helicopter pad marked with a giant H and big oval.
A H. Hyundai?
Yeah,
Hyundai hard.
he's done it!
Unbelievable.
Oh, no!
Hyundai Han?
Die hard?
Alrighty, as always, guys, please do remember to like, subscribe, share it around, and make sure you are commenting with ideas for future films. Maybe give it a week, Ethan. And other segments you'd like us to tackle in future.
What a drive-by in your Mac 10 car.
And on that note,
Cool beans.
cool beans. Woo! See you at the next film club, guys.